Hey friends, welcome back. I'm Courtney. Today I'm going to be talking to you about my favorite Real Techniques brushes. So I've actually been buying and using Real Techniques brushes for years since they launched, but I've only ever done one review, and that was on the powder blue brushes. I will link to that review up here so you can go check it out in case you haven't seen it. I have to say I kind of have like a love-hate thing with Real Techniques brushes because I love the brushes and I love their performance, but I usually hate their design. So Real Techniques brushes are cruelty-free and vegan. They're made with synthetic bristles. I love that about it. What I hate is typically like how thick their little bases are. Yes, they're meant to stand up, but when I try to fit a bunch of Real Techniques brushes into my brush stand, they basically take up all of the room. I greatly prefer a brush style more like this, which is thin and tapered, or like the powder blue brushes, which aren't very big and bulky because they're also thin and tapered, to this original big thick handle. And I think that's actually what kept me from reviewing them, because I just hated how they looked and how they fit into my brush cases. Like it drives me crazy. So the first brush I want to talk about is the Expert Face Brush. I like this for basically denser liquids and powders. It's actually great with a lot of finicky foundations because of the dense brush head. It just has a way of like basically spreading it around the face rather than letting it stay in any one spot and get cakey. I do have the stippling brush, which is supposed to allow you to put on a thinner layer of foundation, but my problem with this brush is that it's just really scratchy and like kind of pokey, so it's not one of my favorites. However, the multitasking cheek brush is amazing. I actually have two of these because I use them all the time, and it's very like basically thin and tapered and angled, and what I like it to use it with is bronzer or contour or blush. And I don't use it with highlight, but I really like how nice and soft it is. And I think it's perfect for blending out your contour, to apply bronzer, or even to put blush on the cheeks. It's just got a nice shape and density, and it's really, really soft, and it has never gotten scratchy like some of the other brushes. This is the multitasking cheek brush. I pretty much only use this for contouring because it just kind of fits into the hollow of the cheek, and it works to blend things out pretty well. I love, love, love the Real Techniques setting brushes. I don't actually use these for setting. I use them for applying highlighter, and I don't know why these two are such drastically different colors. I think I bought them both on Amazon, so maybe one of them's a fake. I'm not really sure. But like I said, what I use these for is applying highlighter, just because it's really nice and easy to pop it on the cheek and then like basically do that like C shape here. Now, all of these brushes I purchased except for the powder blue, which I was sent to review. I'm going to touch on the powder blue very, very quickly. I use the BO3, which is very soft, for applying blush or for blending where like blush and contour meet or blush and highlight meet. I think it's excellent for that. The BO2 I only use to contour, and it has like this kind of domed shape, so I think it fits really well into the hollow of the cheek. The BO4 is for eyeshadow. I only use it for eyeshadow for like blending out color. I love this brush. I really, really wish that Ulta carried the powder blue line, because I would buy another one of these, but I don't want to pay for shipping, so that's why I haven't bought one from the Real Techniques website. I think it's incredibly stupid of them to not sell it at Ulta, because people keep asking me, hey, why isn't it at Ulta? And I'm like, I don't know, I'm sorry. Next up are the multitasking eye brushes. I really like this soft shape. I use this to either blend out or to apply lighter transition colors on the crease. And as you can see, it's sort of light and fluffy. I like the fact that the tips are white and the rest of it's black, because you could also use these as sort of like a duo fiber brush to help you apply a lighter wash of color if you use a light hand. These are really, really good with loose pigments. This is the shading brush, and I like to use this to pat color onto my lid. This is the Essential Crease Brush. This is great for applying a nice diffused wash of color in the crease. It's small and it works really, really well on hooded eyes. These are the base eyeshadow brushes. I like these for applying your base eyeshadow or like translucent setting powder, or for applying your transition shade, or for blending out color, because they're basically shaped similarly to a MAC 217 or the Sigma E25. The only thing I don't like about this is I don't feel that they blend as well because they're a little stiff. They're not as flexible and as soft as a MAC 217 or as the Sigma E25, which is like my holy grail blender. This other eye brush is a smudge brush, and I just use this to apply color to my lower lid. And it's a pretty stiff brush, but it doesn't feel like pokey or anything like that, so it doesn't hurt the eye area. The last four brushes I bought from Ulta, and I was like, oh look, Real Techniques is getting into that weird brush game that, you know, lots of other brands have come out with brushes shaped like this, and I wanted to give these a try. So this is the foundation brush, and it is, oh my gosh, super soft and dense. It does really, really well with thick foundations, like spreading it out around the face. This is the contour, so you can use this to blend out your contour or to apply cheek color if you want, but I pretty much just use it with contour. This is the cheek brush, which is definitely for blush. I wouldn't use this with highlight, but definitely it's great at blush, and it's soft enough and easy enough to basically fit onto the apples of your cheeks. It gives you a lot of control, which I really like. And last but not least is the shadow brush. This brush is great for basically blending out colors in your crease. If you are somebody who has trouble with like your fine motor skills and you find it hard to hold a brush like a traditional way, like this or however you're gonna hold it. I think I hold it like this. If you find it hard to hold a brush like that, this might be your answer, because I think it's easier to hold it like this and blend in little circles. So sometimes when I have problems getting colors to blend out, I switch to this brush because it makes it easier for me to blend in a little tiny circle with this brush than it does a traditional brush. If I had to pick just 5 brushes for you to check out, I would say check out the multitasking cheek brush, the setting brush, the multitasking eye brush, the BO4 blending brush, and this shadow brush. Because I think basically this gives you a really good mix of the Real Techniques brushes. This covers your cheeks, this gives you highlight, and this gives you great blending for the eyes. Now, I absolutely wish that Real Techniques would release more brushes with the powder blue design, this nice slim tapered handle. I would absolutely buy more because I really dislike the thicker handles of the original brushes. So anyway, what do you think of the Real Techniques makeup brushes? Please be sure to let me know in the comments below. If you found this video fun and informative, please give me a thumbs up and share. I love it when you share my videos, and it really helps me out, so I greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't already, click that little subscribe button down below so you never miss one of my videos. Thanks so much for watching.